The type of weaving that we'll be doing in this video is called a spiral rope stitch. Spiral rope stitch typically has a larger bead in the center with a smaller bead spiraling around the outside. If you choose to use the same size beads, your spiral may not be as accented as well as if you use different size and diameter beads. You're going to start by threading on 4 of your center beads. This is the core of your spiral rope. And the type of bead that I'm using here is a 5mm turquoise Swarovski bicone, item number AC5267. Now you'll be threading on 5 of your B bead. In this case, it's a size 6/0 seed bead. This is item number EB698. Now you should be left with 4 of your first color choice and 5 of your second color choice. All that you have to do now to complete this first step is to go through all 4 of the first seed bead color that you have threaded onto your cord. This causes the 2 groups to saddle up next to one another, like so. And then your next step is to thread on only 1 of your first color, and then 5 of your second color. So this is what it should look like. Here's your first unit, and here's your second unit. In order to create the spiral rope effect, take your needle through these 3 seed beads on your first grouping, plus that 4th one out of your second grouping. So now when you pull it tight, this is what it should look like. As you can see, the 2 rows of that second color are now starting to lay up against one another and starting to be offset by 1 seed bead, thus creating the spiral effect. So repeat this step again. 1 of your first color choice, followed by 5 of your second color choice. Take your cord through the last 3 seed beads on the last unit that was strung onto the cord, and then bring it through that 1 seed bead of that first color combo that you threaded on. And always keep this stitch fairly tight with your fingers. As you can see, I'm holding the tail of my cording with my non-dominant hand. This stitching requires all of your weaving to be fairly tight at all times so that you don't get lost while you're stitching all of your beads on. If you look fairly closely, you can tell where my thread is sticking out of certain beads. Whenever you're working with the spiral rope stitch, it's always a good idea to use the same color stringing material as your seed beads. In other words, if you're working with darker seed beads, you use a darker stringing material. Lighter seed beads require lighter stringing material. This red, again, was used just so that you can see what's going on with the stitching. And if it's going to be this apparent like this, a color thread that's appropriate for your stitching is very important.